These are the expectations of the elite way back in the 90s. Are these predictions or are these plans? A lot of these things are the very things that the World Economic Forum is signaling. Who has much connection with the Jesuit order and appears on a TV program with a Jesuit priest frequently. Geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next how many years? So they expect a catastrophic cyber event by 2025.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, you're gonna see what the 1990s Project 2025 group predicted regarding crisis events in our near future. You gotta watch to the very end of this for the punchline. Let us know in the comments what you think and how to prepare spiritually.
Because when we talk about crisis, it's she shall not be moved. God is in the midst of her. He is a very present help in trouble, because trouble is coming our way. And these are not guys just throwing stuff at the wall. Very sophisticated technological experts, futurists, or announcing plans, and here's where it gets serious. World War III, a nuclear device causing widespread contamination, additional epidemics, cyber attacks, or in their words, computer-based socially significant crime, such as tampering with air traffic control or national security systems, a global currency, mass starvation. You got to look at this also with the idea it doesn't have to be 2025. You know, this could leak into 2024. This could be put out a bit. I mean, you can't be that precise necessarily, but basically in the time window in which we live here in 2024 when this is being recorded and the near future that will follow, these are the expectations of the elite way back in the 90s, that this would be taking place in our time. And what makes it even more curious is that a lot of these things are the very things that the World Economic Forum is signaling, that Bill Gates and Jesuit voices are signaling. Like Klaus Schwab, who said in Technocracy, remember our session called Deprived by Design, Dark Ages Feudalism Strikes Back, or the chaos strategy about economic catastrophe and other things. Klaus Schwab said that in the context of food and energy scarcity and economic disruptions, he said it will be an angrier world. And so we have the need of a great reset, like a global currency maybe. Is it time to introduce a global currency, the World Economic Forum asks. So are these predictions or are these plans? Here you have Stephen Colbert, who has much connection with the Jesuit order and appears on a program, a TV program with a Jesuit priest frequently. He asked Bill Gates, what are we missing? You told us that this was coming. Well, what is going to happen 5 years from now? What's 5 years from 2020? 2025. And Bill Gates proceeds to say, I call this Pandemic 1, and we're going to have Pandemic 2. So apparently Pandemic 2 was at that point scheduled for 2025. Or perhaps this is just an accident. You know, he just threw out there 5 years from now, and they're just kind of shooting the breeze, and there are no Jesuit plans. But either way, that is what it is. That's what they stated. Cyber attacks. That's interesting because Klaus Schwab, as I said earlier, mentioned a comprehensive cyber attack will bring the power supply and society as we know it to our knees, and it'll make COVID-19 seem like a minor disturbance. And then in 2023, the World Economic Forum stated, geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next, how many years? 2 years. How many years is that to 2025 from 2023? We're getting this same year come up again and again and again, 2025. So they expect a catastrophic cyber event by 2025. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we got to sit up and take notice and say, get ready, get ready, get ready. Back to 2014, the entertainment industry with this video game and then also with a movie that I'm going to mention in just a second have been signaling the same thing. Black Ops 2 put out in 2014. The script writer consultant on this video game script was the top Pentagon futurist, the foremost expert according to the Wall Street Journal, who was the premier futurist in the national security environment. His name was Peter Singer. And this futurist consulted on the video game script, and they ended up with a narrative in this video game that you, the player of the game, the object of the game, one of the objects of the game, is to prevent a catastrophic cyber attack that is to take place in the year 2025. you could say has a lot of coincidences in our world today. This is getting quite eerie and uncanny to see, again, the top futurists of the Pentagon saying cyber attack 2025 for the video game script, and the United States is in a Cold War with China at that time, so kind of a World War III situation. And then the Obamas get behind a film that's in production. They're the producers of this, Leave the World Behind, again in the time period as we head into 2025 here. There is a Obama-produced film, a movie, that came out called Leave the World Behind. Why did the Obamas get behind this film? The film, I won't be able to tell you that, but I can tell you what the film is about. It's about an apocalyptic scenario after the grid fails and there's a grid down crisis because of cyber attacks. Maybe that's just something they find entertaining and interesting, or maybe we're supposed to be getting a clue here. By the way, when we go back to World War III and a nuclear device causing widespread contamination, don't think that this is impossible sounding stuff. There have been 16 near-miss nuclear encounters since the Cold War started, since 1945 with the inauguration of the nuclear age. 16 near-miss. They say every year we have about a 1% chance of nuclear war. And over 100 years, you'd expect it once then, or at the 50-year point of that, you feel like you're living on borrowed time at that point, right? Here we are 80 years past the beginning of the Cold War, and we haven't had one yet, and maybe we'll talk about the four winds being held back by the winds of strife by the angels of God, metaphorically speaking, and we'll look at how all this timing stuff is subject to a sovereign God. You see, 3 of these 6, war, epidemics, and famine, mass starvation, the exact same 3 that the 4th horseman of the apocalypse sounds an awful lot like. So that's global crisis writ large, a convergence of crises that Project 2025 in the mid-90s said was coming.